What's going on, YouTube? Today we are going to go over 5 extremely undervalued wide receiver picks based on their projected ranking in PPR leagues that ESPN put out. That if you do your draft through ESPN, you'll see where they're ranked at. And I just did my first draft a couple days ago, and I saw a lot of picks that were way too low that I thought I'd go over. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so the first guy that I noticed was a bit too low was Keenan Allen. I think the reason that he was pretty low is because he's not really going to be your home run hitter type guy. He's mostly going to just be a consistent guy, workhorse type of player, not rack up touchdowns every week, but get eight to 10 receptions per game, and maybe get a touchdown, 1, 2 at the most. But he's never gonna go off for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's not a Tyreek Hill type guy, but he's always been very consistent. He's never been injured really ever, and I don't understand why he's falling in their projected rankings, because I think that Justin Herbert's only going to get better, and I think their O-line, which was ranked last this past season, I think it's definitely going to trend upward. And yeah, his target share, his targets per game has gone up a lot. And yeah, I just think that I don't think that he should be the 10th receiver to get picked. I think he should be at least top 6, top 7. I don't think guys like DK, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, I think that they are the future, and I think that they all could easily be top 5 receivers in like the next 5 years or so. But I would feel much safer picking Keenan Allen over those guys, just because you kind of know what you're gonna get. So yeah, Julio Jones, it's weird because I feel like for the last like probably the last 6 or 7 years, he's been top 5 wide receiver, top 3 even, and now this year he gets dropped all the way to 21. And I get why he should be dropped down a little bit, but I think 21 is a bit of a stretch. I think that him being on Tennessee should help motivate him a little bit. I think that he's trying to get everyone to play the best that he can, or that they can now. Atlanta was kind of trading sideways for a while. It wasn't. They were always expected to be okay, and they would always be worse than how good they were expected to be. And now it kind of feels like they're rebuilding now. And so he gets traded to Tennessee, win now situation. I think he knows that time's running out, and I think he'll try. I think he'll try a little bit harder this year. Not saying that he hasn't tried, but I think he might just have that extra motivation, and hopefully he's playing healthy this year. I also noted that Corey Davis is gone. He was kind of the main WR2 last year, and obviously Julio's a big upgrade. And AJ Brown it's tough to say, because the ranking has AJ Brown a little bit higher. They kind of have both of them a little low, just because they have to split receptions with each other, and I get that. But I think whoever does not have the defense's best cornerback on them, I think that cornerback too is gonna have a really tough time. And I think that as of now, Defenses are a little bit more scared of A.J. Brown. He's younger. He's up and coming. So I think Julio might have some games where he just goes on a tear and just destroys the cornerback too on the defense. So, I think another reason maybe he is ranked this low is the injury concern, but we'll see. I think he should be able to stay healthy. Laviska Shenault Jr. This guy had a pretty solid year last year. He had Gardner Minshew. Jaguars didn't really have much of an offensive identity. I think that he's pretty much a lock now to be the WR1. I do like Marvin Jones and DJ Chark a lot, but I think Shenault could be a consistent weapon, whereas DJ Chark and Marvin Jones Jr., they always are very inconsistent. They'll have their 20-point weeks, and then they'll be quiet for another week. Another, month or few weeks. Shenault he's just a beast. He's 6 feet, 225. He's huge. If you just watch his tapes and see how talented he is after the catch, he's even good in going up and grabbing the ball, but he's so hard to bring down. He just has so much skill at juking people, bringing tackles. He's a guy that I think could explode this year if Trevor Lawrence is what everybody wants him to be. If he takes off earlier than expected, I think Shenault will be the guy that gets him there. I think Shenault and Lawrence could be a deadly duo. And I think 35 is. I get why he's down there. He's kind of a guy that you don't know how good he's going to be just yet this year. He'll definitely be good in a few years. He's still very young, but I don't know. I'm kind of buying the hype. I think that this year he could explode. Tyler Boyd, this guy is just a true slot receiver. He's always consistent. Last year, it seemed like every week he was getting 10, probably 12 to 17 points, just because he'd always get so many receptions. It always seems like he's under the radar, just because AJ Green, and now it's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and everybody right now is kind of just automatically locking Tyler Boyd in that WR3 spot, even though he has been the WR1, I feel, the last 2-3 years. AJ Green's either been injured or not been doing a lot. And I think this year he'll be even more of a slot guy, because T. Higgins and Jamar Chase definitely have those wideout positions locked. And I just think he'll be a reliable guy for Joe Burrow to just quick passes, especially with their O-line that's questionable. They might have to get rid of the ball pretty quick. I think he's a guy that when you get to that point of the draft where it's those rank 30 to 40 guys, it's going to be a lot of guys that have huge risk in taking high ceiling, deep ball guys. And then there's guys like Tyler Boyd that can easily be either a bench player or flex guy that you don't have to worry about as much as if he's going to have a boomer bust type week. So, I think Tyler Boyd in 36 is a little low. I think he should be close to top 30, 31, 32. Jarvis Landry, this is another slot guy, very under the radar, always having those consistent 10 to 15 point weeks. Doesn't light up the scoreboard, but you can always count on him to get those 7 receptions a game locked in, and yeah, just be consistent, be a consistent flex option. He's an Iron Man. He's only missed 1 game his entire career, and I think that's something that people undervalue in drafting, because people aren't a pessimist when they're drafting. They're never thinking like, oh, well, there's a good chance this guy will get injured, or he has a history of getting injured. People don't really think about how consistent some people are and how valuable that is. And that's what Landry will bring you. And then also, not even is he consistent health-wise, but then also in how many points he gives you too. It's always going to be that 10 to 15 range. So yeah, he's a great stability pick, as I was explaining. He's not a boomer bust guy, kind of like Tyler Boyd. They're not going to have those 30-point games, but they're always going to be consistent. Don't really have to worry about them laying goose eggs ever, at least in my opinion. And then, yeah, I get how he's ranked this far down, just because the Browns' running game is just unbelievably good. And then also Odell will be back, but I don't know. I don't think Odell will be crushing Jarvis Landry in all the statistics like ESPN will always say he will. I think that, if OBJ's healthy, then he'll do better than Landry, but yeah, I don't know. OBJ is ranked pretty low too. I think we all know that the Browns are just going to run the hell out of the ball and do some play action, but just running will be a big priority for them since they have 2 great running backs and a great line. So some honorable mentions. I got Michael Thomas, only because he's ranked so low. I think 40 is a little low. I know he's injured, but he's a guy that you can just take and just put him on the bench. And if he's not drafted, for sure take him. If somebody gets injured on your roster, if there's somebody you don't like. Because last year when he was playing, he wasn't really healthy. I think we didn't really see the Michael Thomas that we saw in 2018 and 2019. I do think that... So, he was really good with Drew Brees because Drew Brees is such a good short passing guy. That's why everybody called Michael Thomas Slant Boy. And I do think with Winston, he's not gonna. If he was healthy the whole year, I don't think he would put up like 1,700 yards again. But I still do think that him and Winston will work. I know they have their young deep threats, but I think Thomas will be he'll be the clear-cut WR1 if he's healthy. He's got definitely top 10 talent, top 10 skill easily. And yeah, I just think with how much people are looking down at him, that if he can get him in a late round, I for sure would take him. Elijah Moore, this guy, he's kind of a high ceiling pick, but I honestly think you can say that he's a high risk pick, but I don't really think that there's that much to lose, because the Jets are going to be throwing the ball a lot, and I think that Elijah Moore will be the WR2. I think Corey Davis is looking pretty good. He's trending upward, so I don't think Elijah Moore is going to be the WR1. But I do think that they want to get him the ball a lot. They're a young, developing team. They definitely want to get the young guys the ball. Jamison Crowder, he's not old, but I don't think the Jets, Final destination, I don't think Crowder has nearly the place that they want Elijah Moore to have. So yeah, I think they're going to try to build that chemistry with Moore and Zach Wilson, and that's why I think that he'll be WR2 on the team. And then he, for sure, is going to be undrafted in most leagues. 61, that's extremely low. Normally people past 50, 55 don't get drafted. So yeah, he's a guy I'm keeping my eye on. And yeah, I didn't put him on the list just because he's just such a low rank, high ceiling guy. I also got DJ Moore as an honorable mention. He is ranked just outside the top 20 at 22. I think he's another one of those quiet guys that doesn't really get recognized as much as he should. I think that's mostly because it's either because he's on the Panthers or it's because he doesn't really get a lot of touchdowns. Only 8 career touchdowns in 3 seasons. But the yards are impressive. 1,175 plus yards back-to-back seasons, and he's only played 3 seasons. And also, he hasn't been dealt with the best quarterbacks. Last 2 years, he's been in the top 15 in regards to his PPR wide receiver position rank. And now, this year, another plus for him is that Curtis Samuel, who was their main slot guy, is now on the Washington football team. So now I think DJ Moore, he's a guy that does it all. He's good in the wideout position too, but I think that if he gets a lot of slot action, Sam Darnold, he likes those short plays, likes to get those check down kind of 7-8 yard passes, and DJ Moore is good at those too. And I'm thinking maybe they'll use Robbie Anderson more for the home run, and then DJ Moore for the slants and the medium passes. So, yeah, I think him and Darnold will connect earlier before he makes those deep throws to Robbie Anderson. So, yeah, that's it for this video. I realized I kind of took guys that are, in my opinion, I think they're pretty safe. Julio might be the only risky one. I guess Elijah Moore too. There's a lot of guys that ESPN has ranked pretty high based on potential or based on, they're the type of receivers that let me give you Tyler Lockett for an example. I'm not saying that he should be ranked low or anything, but just the type of receiver that gets 40 points, 50 points, and then he'll get like 10 points for the next 4 weeks combined. And those aren't the types of receivers that'll get you wins. They will one time, but they're not guys you want heading into the playoffs. That's kind of why I am always afraid in the back of my head to get a guy like Tyreek Hill or Tyler Lockett, because they're not really that consistent. Yes, they're amazing talents, but I don't know. I kind of look for consistency, low or high floors, guys that are not going to get you single-digit points very often. So yeah, that's another tip, at least from my experience, that has worked out for me. We will be doing more videos like this, probably overvalued receivers, over for running backs too. I think we might be doing a live draft stream. So yeah, be on the lookout for those, and I will see you next time.